We are live! Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Show Must Go On line. Today's guest is Benjamin Rauhala. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm really excited to be here. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous, thanks. I'm so happy to be chatting with you.
I'm so happy to be chatting with you. So the feelings are mutual.
Excellent. Well, you have had quite the week already.
It's been wild. It's felt like a Christmas every day. It's been really exciting.
Yay. Oh, we love this. So, okay, normally we would start with the origin story, but because of everything that's been happening, I want to just jump right in, share with everyone what the Monday announcement was.
So on Monday, we announced that Broadway Princess Party, the show I've been doing for the last 6 years, has become Disney Princess the Concert. It's very exciting. And there was the big announcement. We're doing 85 tour dates across America. It's wild, and it's a secret I've been sitting on for almost a year and a half. So to get to share that with the world has been such a joyous release and relief. And it's the same week that Jeremy and I are premiering his show Carry On. It premieres tomorrow night, and I get to hang out at his house tomorrow. And his daughter's into princesses now, so we get to do the whole thing. It's great. It's great. Everything is so good this week. It's really, it's great.
It's all coming back to me now.
Exactly. There may be, spoiler alert, you might hear a little bit of that in the show tomorrow, but only a little bit.
Ooh, we love it. This is just perfect because I feel like Jeremy Jordan and princesses, everything has been, you've been doing so much with so many different aspects, and to see it all come together in the same week is just fabulous.
Totally. Yes. I feel like it's like a giant glitter explosion in my life. I'm really thrilled. And I'm having Chinese food for dinner later. It's like the best day ever. The gifts keep coming.
What a great day. Ooh, we've got some comments already. Official Disney royalty. Yes.
Thank you.
So exciting. Yes. Ooh, and a puppy. So cute.
So cute. Hi, twins, mommy.
If y'all have any questions or comments, drop them in throughout. We will get to them throughout this conversation. But let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. And let's hear your origin story. What got you into theater and music and all that jazz?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, music. I grew up. My father plays the trumpet. Both of my parents are lawyers. They met in law school, but I grew up watching my father play in the local band concerts. I saw him play for community theater shows. When I was really little, I sat in the pit for The Sound of Music with him. They dressed me up in black, and I got to watch. So there was always music around, and but I didn't catch the bug for me wanting to do music until I saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway when I was 7. And my reaction to seeing Beauty and the Beast was I had my cassette tape of the album, and I would play the song Home over and over, and I would pretend to play the piano to the beginning. I would drape a blanket over 2 chairs and just pretend to play the song. And I was like, I want to be there. I want to do that. Why was that my reaction to Beauty and the Beast? I don't know. But listen, so I begged my parents for piano lessons, and when I was begging for long enough, they decided maybe it was something I actually wanted to do, because you never know with kids. And I've been playing the piano ever since. And, obviously I do that song with the person on that recording now over and over, which is just every time I do it, I'm like, but I grew up I was kind of a band geek. I did drum and bugle corps, which is like competitive marching band all through high school. But I didn't get back into theater until we didn't do musicals in my high school. So I got into theater really when I went to college doing it, because I went to Emerson College my freshman year and accidentally played piano for the heads of musical theater while trying to get piano lessons. And so then they were like, you seem useful. And I was like, someone thinks I'm useful? Me? And suddenly I was like, oh, you know how to become good friends with a singer is be a piano player. And I learned that immediately. There was a keyboard in my dorm room, and I was on the same floor as the musical theater kids. And they would just trickle into my room. They would just want to have sing-alongs. And I didn't know why. They'd be like, can you just play the song for me? It was like some audition song probably. But I was like, I love playing songs. And got roped into music directing and figured out that that's what I wanted to do. And I transferred out to music school when I was 19. I went to UMass, and then grad school in Orlando at the University of Central Florida, and moved to New York for good spring of 2011. And by the winter of 2013, I was a little music assistant on the revival of Pippin, and Broadway just kind of went from there. And yeah, that's the short version. I know, short. I'm a long-winded person. I apologize.
We love it. Keep it coming. And yes, I totally agree. You deserve all of this and more.
Thank you. That's very kind, Maui Cycle. Is that who knows, but I love it.
So it sounds like this just kind of like it was meant to be. This was clearly destiny because you loved it, and it's like you were Destiny's child.
I was definitely Michelle. You know what I mean? If you're looking at Broadway Princess Party, I'm Michelle. It's like I'm there, I complete the harmony, but I'm definitely not the person leading the way.
So as you're talking about that, like to get to know the celebrities, you're playing piano and all of that, and you have been known to be playing with some of quite famous Broadway stars. So we've got Jeremy Jordan, Laura Osnes. We've already spoken about Belle herself. Like, how did these connections work, and how did you start them?
What a good question. I started coming back and forth to New York in late 2008 when I was a senior in college, because my roommate was from just outside of the city. And so I'd watched enough things on YouTube that I sort of knew, like, if we go to the Laurie Beachman Theater at the West Bank Cafe, or if we go to Birdland, we're going to like see people, like the people who do the thing are there. And I went to a thing called the After Party with my roommate, and Alicia Umphris was hosting Singing Bartender, and she sang Jane Monheit's version of Over the Rainbow. I want to say she did every single lick, and then she did Christina Aguilera's version of At Last, and I was like, that person understands me. I don't know her, but I need to know her, and introduced myself, and I was like, if you ever want to play music together, and she was like, yeah, of course. We were young, scrappy, and whichever. And she was doing a reading of Bear, and she had a death in her family, and I was music directing Bear at the time at my college. And I had told her that. And so she needed some help learning the music. And I like drove into the city and helped her learn the music. And we performed together that night. The first song I ever performed in New York was Gravity by Sarah Bareilles, which, you know, like timeless, like what an option. I'm so proud of that. But because of that, you know, I was seeing Lauren Kennedy in various concerts. And because I played with Alicia, then Lauren and I were friends already, and I was like, we should play a song together sometime. And she was like, yeah, sure. And things kind of piled on things. And I, you know, basically a lot of Facebook messaging to people too. I lived in New York the summers of 2009 and 2010, and I just didn't have to live there forever. I just had to live there for 2 months. And so I really tried to make friends, and I made friends with music directors, but I especially made friends with singers because I didn't need to make money. So I was like, come over to my apartment, let's play some songs, let's see what happens. And the more people I did that with, the more I started getting seen playing with other people. And then that sort of just all these little connections led to more connections. And that was sort of the joy of it. I mean, each singer has like the funniest origin story about like what happened there. But Jeremy and I met, for example, I was doing my first New York job, October 2011. So if we're thinking like 6 months after I finished grad school, 5 months, I was doing a reading of Ever After. And I was hired as the music assistant for Marcy and Zena, who we love. And Ashley was in it, his wife. And Jeremy was rehearsing Bonnie and Clyde in the day and doing Newsies at night at the time. And he came in to watch a run through of like kind of our dress rehearsal and sat next to me. And don't worry, we didn't like everyone. It's not like he and I suddenly magically connected and we were friends. You know, it's like, it was not that. It was just like we had met. And Ashley and I became pretty good friends around that time. And the next summer, Jeremy and I did a master class together for Ken Davenport. And we played a song together for the first time. We played Bonnie. And I remember afterwards being like, hey, thanks for letting me play with you. And he's like, well, I didn't really have a choice. And I was like, that was me and Jeremy's relationship, really. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, cool, tell Ashley hello. And I remember that year, he was in Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, no, it was before that. I remember 2011 when he was in Bonnie and Clyde, I dropped off, is that year right? Yeah, 2011. I dropped off cookies at the stage door of Bonnie and Clyde for Ashley because Ashley had finished up Priscilla already. And he ate them all. And I just remember being like, giving him a hard time about that. But we became friends really when I was put on Hit List, the show from Smash. And sort of that was the beginning of our whole thing there. Yeah, so each one has like a fun little weird networky New York story, you know, after 10 years there, you end up with a whole bunch of them.
Yes. And what a fun show too. That Hit List concert, it just popped up on, your YouTube channel. I just need to give a shout out to your YouTube channel because it is it is a well orchestrated. We've got playlists going on. You can just go Disney, you can go Jeremy, you could go Broadway Loves Brittany, Broadway Loves Kelly Clarkson. I mean, it's all of it. And then it just recommends the next beautiful song we love.
Oh, I love it. First, I have to say hi, Boston Ben. I see you over there. And it was fun, that Hit List video. I had edited a version of it. We had filmed it twice. And at that point, I uploaded it last year. It was 7 years ago. And it was April of quarantine. And everyone was like pulling these things out of the bag. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, Disney was about to put up this 25th anniversary, concert we had done. And it was sort of like people were pulling out these recordings that really would have never been legal to share or this or that. And I texted Jen Tepper and Josh Safran and I was like, should I just do it? They were like, yeah, absolutely. So I'm grateful that people got to see that again, actually, because it was so special for, I think, those 3 audiences. But then we had the video, but no one else ever got to see it. And I think it was cool for people to know that there really was a full thought there, It was a perfect? No, but there was a fleshed out idea that Josh and the writers had. And I was so grateful to share that. Justice for Hit List. Bombshell gets a lot of credit, but Hit List does not. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I am definitely grateful that happened. And I think it goes to show too, like Broadway in general, there's so many conversations about making it more accessible and, just being in the room where it happens, like that aspect can be so tough for some people around the world and different accessibility issues. And having even clips on YouTube can be so helpful and it expands your audience, which is pretty great.
Totally. And thank you for what you said about my YouTube channel. That's so kind. And it's such like, sometimes it's like, I look at it, I'm like, oh gosh, those are the people I love. You know what I mean? Like, and we're always doing things that I love, music I love. And so it is such a product of that. And I hope that that's what people respond to, is that it's always from a place of like good energy and love and respect. Like that series is called Broadway Loves because I'm fangirling with my friends. You know what I mean? Yes. And that's the energy I try to keep in there. Yeah. So thank you.
So, yeah, of course. You're welcome. So speaking of fangirling, I noticed that you got to meet Brittany.
I did. Miss Britney Spears herself, the legend.
She was my first concert and it was fabulous.
Oh my gosh, which tour? Sorry, nerding out.
No, please. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Oh my God, did you go in 1999 or 2000? Do you remember?
I was in 4th grade. I was born in 92. So let's do the math somewhere.
Right. I'm like, do you remember what month it was? Do you remember what month?
Oh my God. I wish. I just remember the schoolgirl outfit and like obsessing. Like I obviously.
No, and I think you went to the first tour, which was my first tour too. That was the baby tour because she wore the schoolgirl outfit at the end, but it was like a shiny version of it, like stage appropriate. It has to sparkle more for the stage production,
Of course.
No, I did meet her. It was really special. It was I had done the Broadway Loves Brittany concerts, and so she had followed me on Twitter, and she and her team had like retweeted some of the videos and tweeted about it. Like tweeted out the performance we did of her new single, and then tweeted a whole playlist of them. And so I had Jeremy's manager get in touch with her people because I was planning. I was turning 30, and I was like, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to live. I'm going to have my best thing. And they reached out to try to set up, to see if they were interested in like setting up tickets or this or that. And so that whole magical thing happened. She's very short. She's very sweet. It's really, I regret that I was in a chubby phase during that photo. You know what I mean? I like look at that and I'm like, oh.
No, we will not do this.
I will dox myself to everyone on the internet. The version that I usually post, it's a little face tuned. I did a little to myself and I did a little for her because the lighting was not flattering to either of us. So, you have to protect the legacy, okay? It's like no one needs an unphotoshopped picture of Britney Spears on the internet. So I had to protect the queen and protect myself.
Oh, Ben. Well, you looked fabulous in the photo. You look fabulous now. I'm just saying like, hey, you know what? Like quarantine hasn't been everything for, a lot of reasons. And I think everyone should just live their best life and you look beautiful the way you are.
Thank you. Thank you. And the photo doesn't bother me where like I posted the unedited one a little while ago. Well, her face still edited. But at the time I was like, having body image issues, which I mean, all of us, you know what I mean? But at the time I was like, is that my face? And now I'm like, I look cute, which is always how it is, right? At the time you're so hard at it, and then 3 years later, you're like, gosh, I was young and beautiful.
Okay, so I'm saying hey to everyone in the comments here. This is amazing. I'm like trying to keep up with everyone. Hello, Eva, one of my Showtrions. You're awesome.
Twins, when we did Brittany realize what an icon she was meeting. Her team did prep her a little bit. They knew that like I was the Broadway person and this or that. And we had this, I had a speech and it was short and sweet, but it's somewhere in my voice notes because I practiced it. But at the end, I remember it was just like, and I think your voice is so beautiful and so special. And she goes, I think your voice is beautiful too. And I was like, thanks. But I was like, did she think that I was one of the singers in the thing? Like, what is that? My speaking voice is this. But anytime I feel insecure about my voice, I'm like, you know what? Britney Spears thinks my voice is beautiful. And so it is.
It is. Yes.
It's facts.
Facts. I mean, if it's from Britney, clearly, come on, that's truth.
The gospel according to Godney herself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. So speaking of legends, I saw you also went to Miss Celine herself. What?
Oh my gosh. I know. And like I've seen Celine Dion 3 times now. Both, it was the day before I met Britney, and then I did New Year's, I think that year actually. And then it was the last thing that I did. Ashley, Jeremy, and I went. We were in the 3rd row last March. And it was everything. She made eye contact with me. She blew me kisses. She like spotted the gay energy and she knew. And the best was being there with Ashley and Jeremy because they saw it happen. You know what I mean? They were like experiencing with me. And it was just like, that is religious. Like Celine connecting with a gay fan is like, it's like right, it's right there. It's really next level. She's an amazing live performer and a really funny storyteller and just lets herself go. It's really, she's wonderful. I'm hoping she's supposed to go back on tour, I think in September, and they're in Pittsburgh where my brother lives. And I'm like, I know he doesn't want to go, but I'm like, Sam, let's go see Celine Dion. Like, let's. Because it's sort of like my last month of pre-tour life, you know? So I might as well live it up.
Live it up for sure. And we will get all into Disney Princess Party and the tour and all that in a second. But I'm going to wrap up this Celine comment with the fact that you saw with Jeremy and Ashley. And I saw that video you posted where you like pan to them and they're just like seeing you live your best life. And we obviously have to talk about the epic Celine, Jeremy, like that video that just anytime you're watching a YouTube video, literally it doesn't matter what YouTube video you're watching, that always pops up next.
I didn't know it because it's on, well, actually it's on Shoshana's channel, isn't it? But so it doesn't come up for me because I think YouTube knows. That's funny. I know people leave the cutest comments on it. They're like, no matter how many times I've seen it, I just watch it again. Which I'm very grateful for. You know, he's haunted by it, I think, but it did so much for us. We went to London that next summer, and I really think it was mostly because of that video. It's like, obviously Smash was really big there actually, but I think that really pushed people over the edge that they're like, oh, this guy does other things. This is really lovely and funny. And so I'm so grateful for that day. It was my first show as an original programming producer at 54 Below. So for it to make that, you know what I mean? Which it was a night I was so nervous about. And I always tell, he was doing a 92Y show, a Sondheim show that was completely memorized, and they were in tech. And it was, the first show was tomorrow, the next night, which I went to. But so he had done a full day, like a 10 out of 12 teching the show, and then came to do the show and did that. So when people are looking at him, like looking at the lyrics and this and that, and like, what is happening here? I'm like, he did everything he could for me. And I remember the night before he tried to text me and be like, hey, so we're doing the radio edit, right? And I was like, no. We rehearsed the 7-minute version. Like, that's what we're doing. Like, we rehearsed it with the band. It's done with the charts. Like, just read the lyrics. It'll be fine. He's like, I don't. And I was like, yes. And thank God, because that part where he says 2 minutes and it's literally when there's 2 minutes left in the song, I was like, I've never asked him. I was like, were you on your phone, like in the taxi cab on the way to the thing being like, where is the 2 minute point in this song? Like, he just knew. He's a genius, which we should go on about that. Jeremy is a genius and I could talk about that all day.
Let's talk about Jeremy Jordan for a second, because it all makes sense. It all works with the Carry On thing. And also, I need to comment on your video editing skills, because when I saw that you made that Carry On video, I was like, are you kidding me? This is high professional. I love it. I'm obsessed. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. Quarantine kind of made me a video editor. But I should also say, when it comes to my YouTube channel, sometimes the edits are obvious, sometimes they're not. But I will say that, like, they're all very edited. Because, you know, my personal feeling is it's not a live performance when it's on YouTube. So if you can protect your singer by, like, subbing in a few notes, or protect your pianist by subbing in a few notes, then I do. Because we always do 2 shows. So I'm always like, and this note from here, and this intro from here, you know, and then I feel less hesitancy about putting it everywhere.
Wow, that's so kind of you. I'm sure the actors appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So tell us about Carry On, because I should mention I saw it twice live. I loved it. First night we were in the booth area, so we had a nice chill, relaxed, sitting back, and then we were like, well, obviously we have to go back because this was so, so good. And the only tickets available were like a table towards the front off to the side. We're like, we'll take it.
Well, first of all, I'm honored that you saw it once and then decided to see it again. That's so kind and amazing. And I'm thrilled you were there. And obviously we didn't know, but none of us would be seeing theater again for over a year after that, you know? That was wild.
Crazy.
Carry On, it was an idea. He just started doing Supergirl, and it was 2016, and we flew to San Francisco. We hadn't done a show in like 11 months because he was in LA at that time, actually. They hadn't moved to Canada yet. We were hanging out in San Francisco, and he was like, I think I want to do a show about my childhood, but I think I want it to be kind of more of a play, and I think I really want to go into these stories from me growing up and the things that I sort of went through and processing them. And he was like, but I think I wanted to have original songs maybe, or I just want to make sure that the songs really tell the story. And we were originally talking about, like, what if we have Jason Robert Brown write a song and Benj and Justin write a song and this or that. And this was, you know, centuries ago. And it was an idea we always toyed around with. And we'd come up to, like, okay, we're going to London. We're going to do this concert. We're going here. We're going to do this concert, this or that. And the run of shows at 54 Below in 2020 was delayed twice. It was supposed to be, I don't know, May 2019, I think, right when it was right after his daughter was supposed to be born. But I think we moved it for Waitress, or maybe it was American Son, maybe it was Waitress. I don't know. But there were a bunch of things where someone in the comments probably knows what the original sets of dates were, and then the sets after that. But it was the first time we'd done a show in New York since 2015, which was right before Supergirl. And so we were like, okay, well, what about, you know, like the childhood idea? And he's like, okay, I think I want it to be kind of like, you know, unconventional. He always likes to do something a little tricky. And so we were like, what if we pretend the show is happening in rehearsal? You know, that was the initial thing. It's like that we're like going to rehearsal, and then, and so it's like very private and the audience is watching something sort of inward. And that became sort of like, okay, what if it's more like you're rehearsing at your house? And then it became, what if this part of the show is to your daughter? And then this part of your show is to the audience. So to everyone not familiar with Carry On, because you're about to see it and you haven't, it exists in 2 worlds, basically. You see, and it's a little different in the video, but you see us in 54 Below in the space with the band members and all this or that. And in this, we're doing a video shoot and we know that's happening. And you see footage like that. And then you see a different kind of footage, which is before the show. And it's Jeremy rehearsing the show, preparing for it, and trying to figure out what stories he's brave enough to tell and what he's not. And he's doing that too with his daughter. She's kind of, you know, watching Puppy Dog Pals, whatever it is that she's doing, but she's paying attention with some of it. We did that theatrically, and now we do it in film, but we really wanted to sort of flip the script that way. And so we went through and we talked through a bunch of stories from his life, and we tried to figure out which ones we think were personal enough that they'd be effective, but not, you know, not so personal that you give away the whole store. And we kind of lined up, maybe it was 10 stories, and we knew there were going to be 10 numbers. And we smushed a bunch of stories into one number, actually, when we couldn't figure out numbers for them. But kind of we went through our whole iTunes playlist libraries, and we tried to figure out, okay, what kind of song would tell this story, and what lyrics are we looking for? And we really put our head together. And that's why you see there's a good amount of pop songs in it. There are 2 songs that Jeremy wrote, which is very exciting. There used to be 1, now there's 2. And we found that fit the final moment so beautifully. And the first one he wrote for the first moment this year, so it fits it like a glove. And we really wanted to make sure We're really inspired by Sherry Renee Scott's Everyday Rapture, if anyone ever saw that. I love that piece. I based so much about that it goes in and out of song sort of seamlessly, and it sings unexpected places. You never use a lyric from a song that doesn't make sense to you. You know, if verse 2 doesn't work for you, you're not going to use it. And you just use what of the songs make sense, and you keep moving, and you use the music to accent the story in that way. And I really think it came out sort of in that vein, and I'm very proud of that, for sure.
Ooh, I'm so excited to see how it's changed. And just as a point, it is different than the one that I saw. Like, you took some songs out. I noticed that on your YouTube channel. What I really appreciate is that the cut songs you still put out there for people to enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah. For a couple of things, you know, when we put Dog Days out there, the reason Jeremy wrote the opening number, Carry On, is that Florence and the Machine decided very last minute that they were being protective, and so they were not going to give the rights out to anybody for that song, which, you know, fine. I mean, like, we're somebody, but whatever. If it's not anybody, it's not anybody. I think it's partially because she's doing the Gatsby musical. I think they sort of, like, when they saw it was theater, they were like, so that happened. The Greatest Showman thing, I think we knew we were retiring it. There's a video about where Jeremy used to tell a story about The Greatest Showman and his involvement. And it was something we wrote for a show in London, and then we knew we wanted to do in New York. And so we had put it in, but we also knew that it wasn't exactly fitting thematically with what we were doing as much as it was a great number. And we also knew that we wanted to do some things that really played with the camera medium there, like things you could only do if it was filmed. And so I won't give away what we do there instead, but I will say it was something that we could only do because we were filming, which was really exciting. Because we didn't want it to just be you're filming a cabaret show happening, because the show already, part of it was so intimate. It was him speaking to his daughter. So we're like, what is it if we really acknowledge that? So the stuff to his daughter is actually pretty similar, but the stuff in the space has a different energy than it did live because there is no audience, and we're very aware of it. And it's also rewritten with the context of we've all been in quarantine for a year, and you know, it's different making music with each other. He's a year further into being a parent, but he's been with his daughter pretty much every day in the last year, and we're all different than we were a year ago. And I do think this version of the show is a little more somber just because that's where we all are. And I hope people appreciate that. You know, there are definitely moments where we're laughing our butt off and being ridiculous, and there's a lot of levity, but I think it's a heavy watch. I watched it with my parents, and they had a pretty emotional reaction to it, for sure.
I mean, I remember feeling very emotional when I saw it there, so I can only imagine.
Totally.
I'm very excited. I see other people are as well. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, so sweet. Thanks. Oh, thank you. And thank you for the trailer thing. And I will say Jeremy and I had a very specific vision for the trailer, and we like talked about a few things. We figured out like what that voiceover was going to be. And then we hadn't talked about it in a while, and I just did an edit one night just to be like, okay. And you just never know. I was like, he's either going to think this is amazing, or he's going to have 87 notes and be like, you're terrible, please stop. And he was thrilled, and it was very, but that shouldn't have surprised me because, you know, we've been working together for 8 years now, almost 7.5. And what I find is like his aesthetic is my aesthetic is his. You know, we joke like I don't write songs, but I was telling him the other day, like, I was like, if I wrote songs, they would be like his songs. Like his songs are so good. And the way I arrange songs, it's like a Jeremy Jordan arrangement is us. You know what I mean? I feel like we are each other's aesthetic. And so I was like, oh, of course the trailer I made is something he would like. Like that is, we've like raised each other's taste in the last 8 years, you know?
I love that. And we have to talk about the medleys that you put together and all of your work. I mean, they are truly phenomenal. From when I saw Krysta Rodriguez with Bevita, can we talk about that?
Oh my gosh, the Bevita medley, which, you know, thank goodness that's on YouTube, because she and I are so proud whenever anybody watches that. You know, that one was fun. So what happened for my audience members here is Krysta had gotten an audition when she was filming the TV show Daybreak in New Mexico for Evita. And we had done this crazy, I had like coached her via video. We were very ahead of our time. You know, this was like in 2018, very ahead of its time. We were coaching by video, and she recorded like a 30-minute audition tape for Evita. It really sang parts of every single song she sings. She sent it in, and the production said, this is great for a more traditional Evita. We think she's wonderful, but we are looking for more of a Beyonce at Coachella Ava Perón. And I remember getting that text from her and we were like, that's absurd, ha 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 ha. And never gave it any more thought, but we were putting her show together and we wanted to do, I was like, what are your dream roles? Like, we should sing something from your dream roles, right? And she was like, well, still Ava Perón, like that. And I was like, oh my, that was such a bummer. That was so funny when they texted like Beyonce at Coachella, Ava Perón. Like, what would that sound like? And I was like, do, 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 do. And we were like, wait, that's really funny and that really works. And we were really laughing at ourselves in that rehearsal. And I was like, give me a day. Let me see if I can do this. And I wrote a draft of it and I just tried to mash up Beyonce songs with Ava Perón or Evita songs. And 24 hours later, basically the first draft, we made a couple cuts, but it was exactly what it ended up being.
Anyone
Watch
who
on YouTube, please. We're very proud of it. And I have to, props to Alex Ringler did the choreography, who does a lot of beautiful drag choreography, and it is beautiful drag choreography.
Oh, yes. Anyone who hasn't seen it, like right after this video ends, please pull it up. You must watch.
Baby Ta.
Baby Ta, yes. I remember laughing so hard and being obsessed. And, it's just so cool to see all these performances because I, as a reporter, am also just such a huge fan. And I love the energy that you're putting out there and I said the medleys, but truly like the Disney medleys, how there's like there's so many different Disney princess medleys. I'm just trying to
it's a gimmick. I use it over and over. There might be one in the show you're seeing tomorrow. It's fine. I love a good transition.
Please. So, okay, first of all, let's see your shirt properly so everyone can see.
Yes. This is, she's serving you full Ariel graffiti fantasy. It's very much like Selena Gomez's Rare album cover, which I really responded to.
Yes.
I saw her at the mall because now that she's fully vaccinated, she goes to the mall once in a while. It was at Spencer Gifts, if you're wondering. So if you want this beautiful shirt, I was like, this is, now that we've been doing the Disney thing for, working on it since last, November 2019 almost, December really. But it's like, I'm like, anytime there's merchandise that's princessy, I'm like, I need this, right? I need this. That's
you do.
Me. But now people know why. They're like, why does one have so many extra Disney shirts? I'm like, because I do. Don't worry about it.
This is a segment I like to call Show and Tell.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, sorry, I forgot. I'm just pulling this out. Susan made these we had a big Disney Tech Week the other day, or what, we were in Nashville for a week, if anyone's wondering like why the girls were there. She made these for us for water. She gave me this for Christmas. This is our first Disney Princess the Concert piece of merch. She's a beautiful mug. We love to see it. But also, I got my dad this because Sisu, if any of you watch Raya, that's really a Finnish word. It's really a Finnish concept. And my dad has many shirts that say that. So shout out to any of the Finns watching this. But I thought he would appreciate that. So I got that for him. That's what's on this table today. Just because... And I've been playing this Taylor Swift music a lot, so I'm going to show and tell that. Someday I'm going to do something theatrically with this. I just don't know when that's going to happen.
Ooh.
Someday.
We will stand by. We're very excited.
Oh, Craig, thank you. He says, How Far I'll Go is still one of the best ever. That's very sweet. I did mesh a lot of that together, and I will say that there's a beautiful orchestral arrangement of that now. That's been one of the coolest things, is doing the Disney show, like these 24 or 25 songs that some of them are new arrangements, some of them are ones the girls and I have done forever, but it's like these things that I played on the piano at 54 Below are now these beautiful Disney orchestra charts, that it's like the full, the first time I heard A Whole New World, which is basically just the movie, but I just cried because I was like, is this what my show sounds like now? It's so pretty. Why is it so pretty? So it's really exciting and really cool to like these like funny little mashups and medleys that I've done over the years that they sound like the movies now. It is such a gift. We did an overture. I wrote an overture for the show and they were like, we're going to get somebody to orchestrate it. It'll be great. Like, you don't need to do it. We'll do it. And Disney had David Metzger orchestrate the overture I wrote. This is you're the first people to hear that, but it's like, and he had two questions about like two parts where he's like, can I change the note here? And I was like, uh-huh. And then he just fully orchestrated this thing that I wrote on the piano in quarantine in my parents' basement. It's been like, there's so many dreams that have already come true just in the making of it. And I've had to be so secret about them this whole time. And I'm like, there's so many times in quarantine where I'd be like, okay, I'm having the best day ever, but no one's allowed to know about it. And, but yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? I was showing and telling. There we go.
I'm so glad that we get these like first look reactions, because I could only imagine if you're like feeling it all inside, you gotta let it go.
Amen. Amen. One must. Oh, thank you, Jane. She said, absolutely love your piano arrangement on Catherine Gallagher's songs, Friends to Entertain. I was with Catherine on Monday, and the first thing I said to her was, how dare you? Because I was like, we recorded a single together, but haven't seen each other in 14 months. So Catherine Gallagher, all of her original music is gorgeous. Go stream it.
Oh my God, it's so, so beautiful. Love, 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 all of it. So, okay, I'm trying to keep track of the time and make sure we get to all the key points, but I feel like we kind of jumped into Disney and princess and all of that. And I have two questions. First of all, who's your favorite Disney princess?
Ariel. Sorry, Suze. I mean, obviously Belle was very important to my upbringing, but Ariel was first because, you know, Belle didn't exist yet when I was 3. You know what I mean? That's the reality of being born in 1987. You know what I mean? Like, Belle came along, but she was second because she's the Disney princess I met second. I know. I agree.
Slimbo is all over that. He's like, why do people think that I should like one Disney princess over the other?
Yeah. No, it's true. But Ariel was my first, and you know, that's where my heart is. Whereas girls, I was thinking about that. Like, you know, I have an Aladdin bedspread, and I was like, I became very obsessed with each one as they came out. But we had 6 Disney princesses growing up, and now we have 12/14. It's a big deal. Like, you know, we're part of the Ultimate Princess Celebration. And for my Disney people here, the big deal is that it's the 12 Disney princesses and the 2 Frozen girls who are queens. But so we're always talking about like Disney Princess, the concert is your favorite Disney princess and queen songs.
People get so particular about that.
Totally. Yeah, so those girls have not been coronated, but this is the first time I think we might actually start seeing those girls together. Maybe some different kind of things, if that's in merch or in life. You know, it's very exciting. It's part of what we're doing in the celebration is we're bringing those brands together a little bit. It's very exciting to be a part of it.
Yay! We love. So which is your favorite Disney princess song?
I'm gonna go with a tie, and I'm gonna go with I'm gonna do Part of Your World Reprise. And Home, because obviously Home is, you know, made me do the thing. But what I will say, and this will get out there eventually, but one of the new things I got to do for the Disney show was I got to arrange a version of Part of Your World Reprise that is 4-part harmony, because we're 4 girls now, and I'm so proud of it. It's so cool because we do it, you know, it's such an actory song and the tempo is so shifty, and it was hard to teach, but the girls are so in sync, and we do it like Jody does it, like just for those beautiful acting beats and all of the pauses and pulls and slowdowns, but in full harmony, like, and they're very united, and and there's animation in the show now, so it's like, you know, they say Party World and Ariel does the thing on the rock, and I was like in rehearsal and I was like, I can't look at it. It's too much. And we never got to do that really. I've done that song with Jody before, which is such a joy, but to have found a way to sort of interweave it into the Disney show was such a gift, you know, so I'm excited for people to hear that.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I like looked through the places earlier today and I was like, where can I travel to? Because I need to see this.
Oh, I love it. Where are you in the world currently?
So I'm currently in Washington State and Washington State. And I will be back in New York shortly, hopefully, you know.
Great. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. I feel you. It's like the tour got announced and I was like, do I go back? I'm in Massachusetts at my parents' house still. Down there. I go to New York. I'm like there like 6 to 8 days a month. It's like a not too long drive. But It's like, do I go back for part of the summer? Because otherwise I'm gone there's an international thing that might happen in October for us, in which case I'd be gone if that happens late September until, you know, we have a break in December and the middle of January, and then I'm gone January 24th through April 24th. So it's like, am I not moving back for another year? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I have that thought. But anyway, but you just, you know, But there's also some more tour dates that have not yet been put on the website, which is exciting. So there are more cities as well. So I need to get better about it. I don't remember what the Washington deal is, but I think we go there.
I'm pretty sure there's a Seattle. If I remember correctly, I was like, oh.
That does sound right. That does feel like a call I was on. That feels correct. It is so much at once. I'm so used to knowing exactly where I'm going and exactly what's happening, but it's like 86 shows or something. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Sure. So thrilled, but I need to get better about it. I need to memorize my cities.
No, it is so exciting. It is going to be magical.
Magical. I don't know why I'm this today. I think
You're very.
I keep wanting to use my wand, but it's not.
Do you have it?
Actually, wait, I do have a magical gift. Actually, that's near me for more show and tell. That is Jody got me this. Jody Benson, you might have heard of her, because she knew that she was actually. This was because she's known about this. So actually, one of the coolest stories that I didn't get to tell back in the day is I was in Disney World with Susan, 2019. And Craig, it was right after the OSHA show, I want to say. And we flew to Disney World to do an event. And that is when we got the call that Disney Music Group was interested, and Disney Concerts were interested in really like pursuing the concert. Like there had been some conversations about it the month or two before, but it was like they're looking to make a deal. And we like did a gig at Disney, and then we got to go into the park. Like we had a VIP tour guide, and it was Christmas, and it's beautiful there. And Jody texted me, and she's like, "Are you in the park? We're in the park too." And I was like, yeah, we have a guide. And so I was like, meet us at the fireworks. And we got to like go to the VIP area for fireworks. And I got to tell Jody about the show. And so there's these beautiful photos, like me and Susan and Jody, and then Delaney, Jody's daughter. And we're in the park. And it's like, I mean, it was, you can't make these things up about how perfect it is. Like I was in Disney World when I found out we were going to do this show. And I was with Susan Egan, the person who I learned to play the piano to play with. And my first obsession, like I could draw mermaids before I could talk. So it's like, and they were both there with me that day that happened. And it was so beautiful. We finished the paperwork on March 4th last year, which was my birthday, which was incredible. And I was in LA. I had seen Selena Gomez on the Kelly Clarkson show. I was like, life is amazing, but I'm just going to go wash my hands for another 20 seconds. And then a week later, the world shut down, and it was jarring. It's we were supposed to start performing internationally last June, and so it was so much going so well, and then so like so to be on the other side of it a little bit is really incredible.
What an exciting birthday, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was lit. And I was with Nick Adams at the time. It turned out, I don't know how I did, but it turned out Nick was feeling a little ill. Nick 100% had COVID.
Oh, no.
We didn't know. And I somehow didn't get it, which was completely miraculous. And I had a birthday party the next day in New York City, and everyone was there, but like 7 people who were in Broadway shows that ended up getting COVID. You know what I mean? We were like, no one knew they were sick at the time, and maybe they weren't, but it was, I can't even believe how lucky. I mean, there's so many reasons I was lucky, but I was really playing with fire without knowing with it at that point. I was at Celine Dion that Saturday in a giant crowd of people. I went to Kate Rockwell's last show in Mean Girls the next day. Like that Tuesday I went to Tina. Like it was like I was dancing with the devil, as Demi Lovato says.
I think I saw you outside of Kate Rockwell's final performance, right? That's where we saw each other on the streets?
Yes. Oh my gosh, see, there it is. See?
There it is.
I rambled in that direction. We just had that good moment of connection.
I know. That was so fun. That's one of my favorite things about New York theater scene, that you're just like, you run into people and you're like, oh, hey. And then it's like, oh, I'm off to 54 Below. Okay, I'll see you later.
You know what's so, exactly, same thing. And what's so depressing is I was in Midtown the other day. I was having Mexican with my friend Joe. And I kept looking around and kept waiting for somebody I knew to walk by, just because people always do. And I'm so used to it. Like, you kind of keep track of everyone who walks by because it's going to be a friend eventually. And they were people, but none of them were our people. And that was really dark, actually. I was like, oh, it's like New York looks like it's open, but none of my people are here. And sad.
Oh, that is very sad.
It's okay. We're getting there. Some good things are on their way back to New York City. We're making good changes too. I think the right kind of conversations are happening, and I think people are standing up for great things. And, there's not a lot of time till September, but I think there's enough time if people are willing to put in the work. And I really hope people are.
Beautifully said. Yes, indeed. I made a tweet earlier about like, we have to move forward. We can't go back. We have to make it a better Broadway. We have to make sure people feel safe and comfortable at work and in so many ways. So thank you for bringing that up.
1,000,000%. I'm completely with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, okay, I'm going over my little, cheat sheet here of all of your things, which is like, I must say, so packed because your life is so wonderfully packed of incredible things that I'm just like, oh my God, so cool. So do you have any crazy behind the scenes stories of any of your concerts where something maybe like didn't happen exactly as it was supposed to, but that made it even better?
Yes. Okay. This is good because this is a story about Carry On. So Jeremy's show, very tech heavy at the time, very specific because the lighting is different for songs that are and 54 Below was songs from before and then songs that are happening right now. And what happened is he pulls these items out and he's like, okay, we're going to talk about this item. And he's unpacking his baggage, but they have a metaphorical item. And some of the scenes were kind of similar, where like Jeremy goes to the suitcase and he says, I don't know, Ben, what do you think? Whichever. And we get to song, 4, which is supposed to be Broadway, Here I Come. It's the second in real life song, I think. Song number 3, maybe. And he opens the thing and he looks at me and he starts doing the scene for song 5. And he starts doing the scene for the middle. And I'm like, and he's like, and the line he has, he pulls out the script and he goes, I mean, right, the song that goes with this item, right? And I go, yes, but are you sure that's the song you want to do? And the audience is cracking up. They're like, they think it's so funny. And it's like abject terror in my eyes. And he's like, yes. And he realized, he's like, is that okay? And I was like, yeah. Oh, yes. But we're having this scene, which is normally us having like a little bit of a bickering thing about him trying to, well, you'll see what it is in the show, but it's a scripted scene. But it was a similar scene, but it went completely it was completely genuine. And the audience thought it was so funny. They thought I was the best actor ever because I was living in complete fear and terror. And the audience ate it up. And so then what was crazy was then we did the next 4 numbers we did out of order. So like we did the middle, and then I was like at the band, I was like, because we couldn't just do Broadway Here I Come next because the tech cues went to the before world. Like they went to a different lighting cue. So when we went to the lighting cue, I had to do the song that was next, which was maybe When You Say Nothing at All. And then what was supposed to be the middle was then we did Broadway Here I Come, but I have to kind of communicate this to the band without being weird about it. And then after Broadway Here I Come, we went to whatever song goes after that, which I don't remember, but it was fully really fly by the seat of your pants. The show was actually amazing because we were all just so holding on tight. But it was maybe show number 3, and we'd done the show just enough that everyone was comfortable and the band knew what was going on. But we did the entire show out of order that day.
That is so impressive.
Thank you. But it was wild. So when you watch, it's the scene before the song The Middle, when you watch Carry On, just picture that scene, but him doing it in the wrong place and me being like, oh no. And that's what that was.
It's so funny too, because there are a lot of parts where you're like, is that scripted? Is that not? And I could imagine if there's this true moment between the two of you, you're like, I'm not being funny here. Are we really doing this?
Totally. And it's fun because, he's, Jeremy was the first person to get me to talk on stage. And I'm not going to go say I'm a good actor, but I will say that I can hold my own with him now after a bunch of years of feeling like I need to lead on shtick or this or that. And so, it all feels good, but I'm glad that when you watch it the first time, you're like, how much of that is real and how much is not? Because sometimes we also leave things we know what needs to happen in a scene, but we're not going to script it too much because me not being a trained actor, I get a little scripty sometimes. So if we're reacting in the moment, it's a little better for me sometimes.
So fun. So you've had this plethora of actors that you've worked with, and it's just literally going through your photos and your YouTube channel. You're like, oh my God, these are so crazy. I'm trying to think, even just seeing the photos from Newsies, which I have to just say quickly as a female theater reporter, Newsies was everything for me, and seeing Miss Cara Lindsay at Jeremy Jordan's concert was so cool. And I got to chat with her. And it's like, do you have any of those moments? Of course, you know, we've spoken about Susan Egan and stuff, but are there any other moments where you're like, I really can't believe that I am here right now, and we are not just chatting, but we are working together?
Goodness gracious. I'm like, you know, because it's, you know how this is. It's like, to survive, you kind of, you know, that you have to, like, you try to sublimate that part of yourself and be like, but I mean, I definitely know the first time it's usually princess ones. Like the first rehearsal I had with Jody, and her husband came too, you know, and but we sat in and I was like, okay, we're just gonna run through these songs, and sat down and played, you know, bleedy-dee-dee, bleedy-dee-dee, and I was like, oh no. You know what I mean? Suddenly I was like, I suddenly feel like I've never played the song before. This is sight reading. Luckily I know how to sight read, but it was just like the first minute, it was just so out of body. And I was like, and that is, the voice is right there. That is like, I'm in this film. And I had a really similar experience with Liz Calloway the first time we rehearsed, which is, we were doing Journey to the Past, and I was teaching her and Christy the duet version that I had written for them, and like hoping that they would think it was okay, because Liz and her sister, Anne Hampton Calloway, they have such a beautiful harmonic ear and such creative insight, that I was like, oh, I hope this is good enough for her. You know what I mean? And those were such thrilling moments. But I do, those particular rehearsals, you know, like Liz Calloway starts singing Journey to the Past, but you are the person playing Journey to the Past, and you're like, oh, bye. The first morning with Susan, we did a 54 Below video, April 2017, was a teeny bit like that. But then I had to teach her the song, How Does a Moment Last Forever? And that was immediately kind of humanizing. Maybe we did that first, actually, where it was like, I was working her through a song she didn't know. So then it was humanizing, and I was able to be like, okay, like we're seeing each other, we're good. But those definitely come to mind. There must have been more, but it's like, I imagine that same feeling with Jody is that same feeling I'll have someday when I get to play Every Time with Britney Spears. I don't know when that is, but that same thing where you're like, I'm here, I can do this. But like, thank God I've played the song a lot of times.
We are manifesting that right here, right now. Yes, yes, yes.
You know, those are my two. I'm like, I want to be at the piano with the two of them.
Ooh, I would love to.
Privately, it can just be at someone's house. I don't need it to be for an audience.
Right.
The moment of connection. I think they will appreciate it.
Yeah. But I totally know that feeling where you're like, internally, you're like, oh my God, this is happening. I'm so excited. And externally, you're like, wow, that was a really great performance. I really enjoyed what you did there. You're trying to be professional.
But I would say the most intense feeling, like when I played in the pit for Fiddler on the Roof the first time, which was really my Broadway debut, that feeling is like the ultimate of like, because Broadway is the ultimate celebrity, you know what I mean? And I was playing with Broadway, you know what I mean? And that was like, I was like, and for 2.5 hours, you know what I mean? I had a solo on Broadway, my first show, and I was like, okay, you know, and that was the ultimate intense feeling and the ultimate release too. Like I'll never forget that. But that was the most nervous I've been for a performance that I had to do.
I could only imagine. So now is the time where we chat about a nonprofit or a charity that you want to shout out.
I would love to shout out the Trevor Project if anyone wants to support the Trevor Project. They're a call line. They're a help resource for young LGBTQ plus youth. I mean, young teens, but youth. I'm college age too, but they're a support line for teens in need of mental health who are feeling suicidal or just need support to get through their time. That's a source that is near and dear to my heart. I love the Trevor Project. And actually, the first performance Jeremy and I did where I was officially his music director, it was the week of our first concerts, but we did a Trevor Project live performance, and Adam Shankman was directing, who directed the Hairspray movie and A Walk to Remember, and is doing the Enchanted sequel and the Hocus Pocus sequel, I think, too. So Adam Shankman, go get it. But so I have such beloved memories of working with that charity. So shout out to the Trevor Project. I know, exactly. I'm like, I'm really quirky today. I didn't have enough caffeine or something. I'm like, I don't know why this, but hooray, Trevor Project. Support the game.
We are living it up. Yes, yes. Great one. Thank you for sharing that. And
thank you, Becky. Becky says, I love the songs Ben wants Corey to sing medley. That was a lovely time. Thank you, Becky. It was me and Corey at the West Bank Cafe, or not West Bank, sorry, the West End Lounge. RIP, the West End Lounge. That was a victim of, as Wendy Williams would say, a victim of Cornova. Oh, thank you, Carol.
Yes, yes, yes. And so what tell us where everyone can find you on social media, and like this is the time to like promote.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm at B Rauhala on pretty much everything, including my TikTok, which I'm trying to be more active on again. Which now that people have been commenting, I've been a little quiet on social media because I had so many secrets, you know what I mean? And the more that my time was filled with princess rehearsals and calls and orchestra reads and stuff, the more I was like, I don't know how to talk about what I'm going on with. Well, like, so I just kind of got quiet. So I'm B Rauhala at Twitter, Instagram. I have a Benjamin Rauhala Facebook page. We're at DisneyPrincessConcerts.com. That's where you can see all 80 whatever tour dates because they are expanding. There's more coming, which is exciting. You can go to 54below.com. I think we'll just go there, but I think it's /Jeremy Jordan to look at the Carry On stream. We premiere live tomorrow night. We premiere at 8 p.m. and then there's a VIP after show just that one night for if you get a VIP ticket, which you have to Q&A with Jeremy and I. And we're doing a bunch of extra songs live from his house. I'm going there tomorrow. So it's going to be very cool, very intimate. We're doing some numbers. We're going back and forth, but some songs we probably haven't done in 3 or 4 years. You know, some songs we've maybe never done in America. You know, very exciting. So that's going on. I would say keep an eye on Today Ticks. Ariana DeBose and I have a thing coming up in New York soon. I'll just say that. It hasn't been announced yet. And I'm just going to shamelessly plug that Krysta Rodriguez, her series Halston premieres next Friday on Netflix. She plays Liza Minnelli, and I coached her on her musical numbers, and I'm deeply proud of her. It's unbelievable to see, unbelievable to hear, unbelievable to witness. Her performance is stunning, both in the songs, but then as an actress, her and Ewan McGregor, it's so good. So I'm supposed to plug myself, but Krysta Rodriguez, I just love you. I got to go. We like had a premiere party at her house on Monday, which you can look at pictures from in Vogue. I'm in Vogue today with Krysta, but she looks unbelievable. It's really. I'm just so in awe of her. I'm in awe of Jeremy and his vulnerability in the show you're about to see, you guys, if you go look. And it is streaming all the way until May 27th. So if you don't watch tonight, if you're too busy, or tomorrow night, you can watch it for the next 3 weeks. And I highly recommend it. I think people are going to be very excited by it. And tickets for Broadway, for what is it called? Disney Princess the Concert. The artist formerly known as Broadway Princess Party. Those go on sale 10 a.m. on Friday. In every market. So your personal version of 10 a.m., if it's your local place, is where those tickets go on sale.
Oh, wow. So exciting. I'm so excited for like all of these things. And yes, Krysta as Liza, I mean, come on, that's going to be fabulous. I'm so excited. You
know, I just remember, and Christy Altamar and I are in Bucks County Playhouse in June. So look that up. We have 2 dates there. And then Austin Colby, Caroline Bowman, and I are at the Freeman Stage in Selbyville, Delaware, outdoors. That's going to be so lovely. That's maybe June 24th. Yeah, so those are some things I have coming up that I'm really excited about. Music with friends, because vaccines work, science works.
Please listen to science, y'all.
Science, and then we get to go do theater. It's so good.
Yes. So, okay, I'm going to do my 2-second plug here. Y'all can find me at BWay Show. That's BWAYSHO. And BWay Show Podcast. We take The Show Must Go Online, turn that into BWay Show, the podcast. Check it out. And we have the Showtreons, which is the BWay Show Patreon squad. And we do weekly trivia and monthly video chats. And it's a fun time. Come check it out.
Word.
Yeah. Thanks. So, okay, I'm looking at any final questions, thoughts here. Can't wait to see you in Delaware in June.
Work.
Yes. Oh, and this for sure.
Yes. You know, the big thing is help us spread the word about Friday in America. And, you know, that's the big thing is if things go well here, then the sky's the limit. And we're hoping to go everywhere. Yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Could you have ever imagined when you started this that it would become what it is?
No, it's so funny. It's, you know, it was a concert at 54 Below that was just a piano, and we were filling in the reunion concert of Bear had to be moved from August to October, and it was sort of a last minute thing, and we were just girls playing dress up in a basement, you know what I mean? And just being silly, and, you know, and it completely changed my life, and continues to change my life every day. And I'm so grateful for it. But you just never know. It was just a 54 Below show, you know, and now it's going to be a Disney thing that's going to tour around internationally. You know, we were like bootleg Disney, and now we're actual Disney because they were as inspired by us as we were by them, which is I'm flabbergasted by and is such a gift in life. But the Broadway community is incredible. You know, every single person we've talked about who I work with and the ones we didn't are absolutely sparkling and incredible. So of course, why should I be surprised that the power of those people doing what they love to do, and what I do well is I make sure that they are the best version of themselves. And so, you know, that's powerful. And it's amazing to see the power of what that can become. And I think that's the power of what Broadway and our community can do. That's really what Disney Princess the concert is.
You really do bring out the best in every performer, and that is such a gift.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yes, and we are so grateful for you. I second that.
Craig, thank you.
Yay. So, is there anything else that you came into today wanting to share with all of your fans?
No, just that like I'll be going live. Maybe I'll go live tonight. Maybe that'll be fun. It's been a while. I just haven't, I just didn't want to keep secrets from anybody. I couldn't do a Q&A on Instagram and I just lie. It's just not who I am, you know? And so I'm thrilled to be a little more active, thrilled to be getting out there, thrilled to see you all across America. And please do tag me if you buy tickets for Disney Princess the concert, let me know. It's like such an endorphin boost for me. I'm like, people are coming to the play. So I'm excited, and I can't wait for you to see Carry On. I'm just as proud of that. It's really, Jeremy's a genius. He's a beautiful artist, and it's really him at peak of his artistry doing really beautiful, amazing work.
Wow. Beautiful. What a positive, bippity boppity Ben way to end it. Yay. Well, have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for saying yes and coming on. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It was such a joy. This is my first interview since all the good stuff happened. So this has been so fun. I'm so excited to share all of the things. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Hooray.
Have a great night, y'all. See you at the show. Bye.